Catherine Tinsley with the Nocturnal. Hello, how are you guys doing today?
Hi, we're good. We're good.
So are you guys ready to get started?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you?
Right.
We're ready.
Yeah. So you two play Krishan and Gidget, who are both dancers at the Pynk. They both have their own like personal struggles they show on the show, but they also support each other through thick and thin. What was the process of preparing for these roles?
Oh my gosh, there's so much that goes into, for me specifically, there was so much that went into building who this girl was. I started with music. There's a few songs that I went to for her. There's this song in an Italian opera called Pagliacci. It's about a sad clown, and despite his world falling apart around him and receiving the worst news of his life backstage, the show must go on, and he has to go and put smiles on people's faces. And I think that is who Keyshawn is to her core. And I listened to a lot of trap music because I feel like that also helped with a different aspect of her personality, because Keyshawn is lit and she just has this big personality and she's ratchet, and I definitely use different types of music to inform the character, for sure. That was a big one for me.
Yeah, for me, when I got the callback, I realized that I had never been to a strip club before, and that was a very important part of this character. And so I went to a strip club on Hollywood Boulevard, and it was like the middle of the week, and I went by myself and I sat there and I just watched and researched and asked questions to all these girls, asked them what the locker room was like, asked them if they all liked each other, just questions, and they gave me all the answers and they loved it. And honestly, my character development really started from that moment. I also was able to use, things from my real life. Um, Grew up with a foster care facility in my home. So I grew up with 6 other girls, and they all had such unique stories that were painful and, hard to hear at times. But I was able to use a lot of their stories from what they've shared with me to create this character and this world that Gidget lives in.
And so with the show, you really see the athleticism behind pole dancing and how difficult it is physically. Did you guys have to train physically for these roles?
For months before we even got to Atlanta, we trained with a pole dancing instructor, and it was so hard and so strenuous, and we had new bruises that I didn't even know I could have, the calluses on our hands for 5 months. It was very, very difficult. But going down to Atlanta, we trained as well. We trained for 5 months throughout, and it is a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, but it was so much fun. We have some of the most famous pole dancers in the world who won pole dancing competitions, as our body doubles. So it was really awesome.
Yeah, for me, I had a little bit of pole fitness experience before this. I just had taken some classes before, but going into it, I was like, let's go. It's hard. It's really hard, but it took a lot of practice. And there'll be some moves that you just keep trying and trying and trying to get. And then one day you just all of a sudden are like, whoa, my body can do it now. Like muscle memory, I guess. I don't know. But all of a sudden, and that was like the most exciting moment, was to just, yes, I can do it. Also, for our callbacks, we had to dance in our callbacks too.
Oh, wow.
For our callbacks, we had to dance in our callbacks too.
Oh, wow.
Before we even were cast, we had to start with the dance. So that was pretty interesting.
What was that like, dancing for your callback before you got the role?
Well, I have dance experience. I did ballet and jazz and like hip hop, but I mean, nothing like this. And there was no poles in the callback rooms. I don't know if you've ever been in like an audition room, but they're usually pretty small and don't usually have speakers to play music or anything. So I told my roommate at the time, I said, I have a callback. I'm supposed to dance. What am I going to do? And it was so funny because she knew somebody. She goes, I know somebody that got a callback for this too, and they're a dance instructor. They can help you. And it was Brandee Evans that plays Mercedes. And so I actually went to her house in LA in her small like gym apartment. And we were in tiny bikinis and she taught me my dance and we were laughing and there was people working out behind us and we were just like, sorry, we're gonna be on Stars. We have to prepare. And at the end, this guy I remember was leaving and he was like, that was the best workout I've ever had. Yeah. What about you, Shannon?
When I auditioned, when I went into the audition room, I was the only one dressed for the part. I walked into this room, everybody else is dressed like they're going to Whole Foods afterwards, and I had on full stripper outfit, platforms, boobs up to here. I had glitter all over my body. I looked cute though, but you know, the only one dressed as a stripper. I brought in my cell phone and they had us dance, and I didn't want to pick a song that I felt was typical of a strip club. So I picked Nuck If You Buck by Crime Mob. And I felt like it just fit right into what was happening in that world. Like they would play that song. And it really went with her personality. So that was the song I went with.
So for the character of Keyshawn, we see her as a mother, as a girlfriend, and as someone who has aspirations to kind of be like Insta famous. What was that like, sort of bringing all of those aspects of her personality to the screen?
That's an actor's dream, to have a character like this who's so complex and to have a role that's just so meaty, and there's so many different colors with her. I got to be both a comedian and a tragedian with Keyshawn, which is very necessary in order to play her part and to play it well. And it was just very, very necessary to bring forth both of those things. It was very important for me to dig deep and go to a dark place, to be emotionally available and to be as vulnerable as she is. And it was also important to make sure that I was completely and fully present and almost enjoyed having fun too much, almost in a manic way, because she's trying really, really hard. She's making a conscious effort to be happy and to make other people happy because she's suppressing all of this pain.
And was that difficult to get into that mindset for that character?
Yeah, it was emotionally exhausting because it's up and down with her. And as an actor, like even after the audition, you're just exhausted to go to that place and to mentally to trick your body into feeling like this is actually happening to you. It was a lot. It was a lot, but it was necessary because there are women who are living this. This is their reality. And I had to do them justice, and it was very important for me to do that.
Right. And for the character of Gidget, we see her as the second generation pole dancer who sees it as an Olympic level sport. Do you hope that audiences will actually be able to see the athleticism behind pole dancing with watching the show?
Oh yeah, and I think that they definitely will. You'll see it throughout the whole show. Shannon and I did a lot of the dancing and stuff in the show, but we also had amazing body doubles that were, or stunt doubles, body doubles, that girls that would do the crazy tricks on the pole that take really like years to be able to do, going up on the pole and going down into a split, stuff like that. I really hope people will take away the athleticism in the show because that's really what it is. It's a sport. These women are incredible with what they can do.
And sort of for the two of you, what were the biggest challenges with coming into your roles?
Challenge for me was really tapping into that dark place to get there. It was depressing. It was really depressing, and even after a scene is over or you go home for the day, it's really hard to shake that off. You know, you oftentimes see actors like Joaquin Phoenix. Was it Joaquin Phoenix? No, he played Batman. No, the Joker.
Oh, Heath Ledger.
Oh,
Ledger, when he played Joker, he had a really hard time like shaking that off, and I can totally relate. So that was a very difficult thing for me with her.
yeah. I actually had a similar challenge as her too. And something I did on the show is, and you'll see it, I asked wardrobe if I could have a necklace that's like a little black plastic choker necklace. And at the end of the day, I would take it off and just say to myself, okay, I'm leaving Gidget here, going to Skyler's house, you know? And when I would get to set the next morning, right when I got in there, I would put the choker on when I was ready and said, this is now I'm Gidget, you know, just to mentally be able to leave her there was something that I had to do.
Right. I mean, that's very powerful acting. But for your characters, because they are so complex and they have these stories that are very real to a lot of people, do you hope that with watching the show, people will be able to not just relate to your characters, but to see the humanity beyond the nightlife?
I hope so, and I think they will. I think they will. The way Katori Hall has like beautifully crafted these characters, you are going to empathize with them. You're going to feel their pain, and you're going to be able to relate to them. Everybody has a struggle. Everybody has a dream. These people are so relatable, and the situations that we're dealing with are things that people can relate to no matter the demographic. And these women, you will see, are not cliche. They're not what you would typically expect from a show about strippers. We take away the objectification and we bring forth the humanity. And that's what you'll see when you watch the show.
That was a great answer.
Yeah.
I totally agree with her.
Well, watching the show, I felt as though it was very empowering seeing all of your characters and how they interacted with each other. Did you find any sort of empowerment when you took on these roles?
Yeah, for me, I always kind of struggled with the shame around feeling sexy. And when I took on this role, I had to just completely let that go and live in this world and wear these outfits and put this makeup on. And really it was almost therapeutic for me to go in there, and I felt so empowered knowing that it was okay to feel sexy. It was okay, and it is okay.
Right.
Yeah. Same. I felt so empowered. I remember being so nervous with one of my performances. And in the back of my mind, I was like, wait a minute, what would Beyonce do? You know, she would tear that stage up. And Tasha Smith, who directed episode 6, was there. And if you know Tasha, she has a huge personality. She came backstage. She was like, girl, you better get like Beyonce. You better. She's like, you are the sexiest, fiercest thing. Like, she gave me this big pep, like, yeah. And she's like hyping me up and pumping me up like a football coach or something. She's like, get out there. And I get out there, and it was the most freeing, most liberating thing. You just feel so sexy and you feel so powerful within that. Just owning your sexuality. It was so cool.
Well, thank you guys so much for speaking with me and telling these beautiful stories on screen, and for your work that you all are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Enjoy your day.
You too.
So, are you ready to get started?
Girl, yes, let's go.
Okay. Well, first of all, I've got to say shout out to Memphis. My granddad's from Memphis, so it's
Memphis. What part?
I actually don't know. Great migration.
Girl, it's all right.
But I love Memphis. My family's still there. Great time. But so you're a Memphis native, a choreographer, a dancer, a former high school English teacher, and an actress. So you have quite the resume.
And a caregiver.
Yes. Do you feel like you were able to bring all of these sort of roles you've had in your career and in your life into the character of Mercedes?
Absolutely. Bringing all those things in with Mercedes felt natural. Mercedes' mom is a preacher. Brandee's dad, preacher. Being a dance team coach, I was a dance team coach. just teaching these ladies when my company called Hip Hop and Heels how to be confident and sexy. I mean, that's what an OG does, you know, teach them about their confidence and not to give up. So being able to bring all of those things to the table was definitely helpful.
And how did you prepare for the role of Mercedes?
Ooh, so many ways. So the first thing I did, my mentor, Robbie Reed, sent me to Burke Williams to just walk around with no clothes on.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, because usually, you know how it is, you go to the spa, you're like, okay, let me cover up real quick. I don't know these people, you know what I mean? And I'm like, that doesn't happen in a strip club. So you got to get comfortable now. And so I started with that. And then my acting coaches would make me wear shorts to class because, fun fact, I didn't like my legs, okay? Mercedes taught me to love my legs and these thighs and dimples and stretch marks and everything in between. So that's been a beautiful moment of just embracing my body and doing that. Another fun story, when I got the last audition, I walked down the street playing Beyonce's 6-inch heels all the way to the audition, playing it loud, people blowing their horns. I'm like, bye, because I know I look good. You know, like I needed to be Mercedes then. And then I did it on my way out of the audition too, played it all the way home, girl, and played the music all the way to my door until I unlocked the door. And so I just really tried to tap into her. And then, of course, my choreographer, Jamaica, brought Spider in and did a 10-day boot camp. Oh, wow. And I did 8 days of dancing. 2 days of get them legs together because they so wore out because you've been dying. And then Spider took me on a field trip and just kind of showed me the ropes and how to be the OG in the club, you know, pointing out different things like, girl, he ain't gonna spend no money, watch him. I'm like, oh, girl, he didn't, you know, and then she'd be like, well, look over there, look it up. She about to go dance with him, he got money. Sure enough, she knew. So she was the OG teaching the wannabe OG.
Do you feel like, I mean, you referenced Beyonce and Beyonce music. Do you feel like Mercedes became your own Sasha Fierce in a way?
Yeah, but you know what? As much as I love Brandee, it became Shay. My middle name is Shay. So Mercedes became that inner Shay that I have in me. So she was in there all along, but now I was able to just bring her out and be like, you know what? Oh, I've got this. And I've always felt that way when I would get on the stage, you know, dancing for my artists. But in everyday life, like when we put on those jeans and they're a little tight, good. Now the curves fit a little better, you know, like just being confident in me fully.
And so being from Memphis, Tennessee, which is sort of like the unofficial capital of the Mississippi Delta, do you feel like you're able to pay homage to like Tennessee in the South and sort of the culture of the Mississippi Delta with the show?
It was amazing. Katori being from Memphis, just from the beginning, I was looking at it going, is that the street? Like, is that the street I grew up on? Wait, is that the street I go to get to grandmama's house? You know, it was just very authentic and it looked very much so like the South.
Yeah. And so with Mercedes, she has a lot of duality. She's a praying woman, but she also has a quick tongue. How are you able to sort of bring that duality to your character?
Girl, because I'm a praying woman, but I also got a quick tongue. So that is very much so me.
You being from Memphis and Memphis sort of being the unofficial capital of the Mississippi Delta, do you feel like you're able to pay homage to not just Memphis, but sort of that part of the country with this role?
Oh, yes. Being from the music is completely the South. When you hear that one song, you're like, wait, I grew up to that song. Wait, that's the song that we went to the club after graduation with. You know, all of that was just so authentic, not to mention the design, the set design. It just looks like the South. I'm so grateful that Katori was able to bring that authentic world to the video, to camera for everyone to see.
And sort of with having that Southern culture, we also get to see trap music and strip club culture. Do you feel like this show can help shift some people's opinions about sort of strip club culture as well as trap music?
I pray so. I really, really hope that it's able to shift the mindset, because right now people just think naked girls, and it's not that. It's beyond that, which is an amazing thing that we had 8 directors that were women. So we've got it from a women's gaze, you know, woman's gaze. So the way it's shot, I find there's this beautiful scene with Ella Rica. And I'm just like, oh, she didn't have on clothes. Like towards the end of the scene, it hits me because I'm just so invested in the beauty of how it's shot and what she's saying. And I wish more people would truly look at, like, what are these women saying? What are they thinking? Not what do they look like?
Right. And sort of with your own character, Mercedes, we sort of see her as kind of a matriarch in a lot of ways, and we get to see someone who has goals beyond her life in the club.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that is something that's relatable for a lot of women, especially women interested in career changes?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I think that we all have different goals. Even if you're a doctor, you might have thought one day, I thought I was going to do fashion design, or I love fashion designing. And I hope that this allows women to see that you don't have to put your life on hold. A lot of mommies, let's be honest, think, oh, well, now I'm a mom and I just have to be a mom. But no, Miss Mississippi is a mom and has other things going on as well, and she has other dreams as well. So it's okay to do this one job to get to the next job. It's okay.
Yeah, and sort of with Mercedes, she's kind of this like powerhouse,
Mhm.
and she's extremely empowering to watch. Did you feel like that helped you with your own sort of self-empowerment, taking on the role?
Absolutely. She was confident in her body. That was the biggest thing, Like, she was confident in her body. She didn't care that she had those curves. And let's just be honest, she's a little bit thicker than the other girls. And it's beautiful from the smallest to the biggest. And I always say in my Hip Hop and Heels, confidence is sexy, not your dress size. And it's real. And I've written that for so many years with my company, but I don't think I truly honed it and took it in until doing this role. Like, confidence is sexy. That's what's sexy.
Right, right. And so with your company teaching empowering dance classes to women, do you feel like you're able to bring that same sort of mission to the show?
Yes, absolutely. I bring that same mission. And just like, even if you fall, I think someone asked me, like, what happens if you slip? What happens? You get back up. What happens if you fall or slip in life? You get back up, and you get back up even sexier. So yes.
And sort of what do you want the audience to gain from watching this show?
I want the audience to learn not to judge a book by its cover. We have been told that since we were children. Don't judge a book by its cover. But let's look at where we're living right now and the conversations that are being had right now. We've been judging books by their covers. And instead of peeling back the layers and open this book and really reading and going, wow, they might just kind of be like me. So that's what I hope everyone gets from it.
Right. And so do you feel like it can help to also expand the dialogue around female empowerment?
Absolutely. I know that this is going to be conversational. It's going to be conversations from the community within Black ladies, lighter skin, brown skin, darker skin. Those conversations are going to be had. Our white America versus Black America. Can we all just, figure it out and come together? Because we got Get 'em Gidget is Mercedes' best friend. She's a blonde Black girl. Hello. You know what I mean? But that's my sister. I'm a ride or die for her. And that's what I hope that everyone's getting from the show and realizing we got to ride or die for each other.
Right, right. And sort of we see several kind of larger conversations going on with the show. We see sisterhood that does it with someone that might not look like you, but we also see colorism and gentrification,
Yes.
which is super relevant at any point in time.
Exactly.
Do you feel like people watching this will be able to have those sort of uncomfortable conversations?
Oh, absolutely. I'm already having them. Just even with my cast members, it's different when you're filming and when you truly see what has come out on the camera and what actually was in the editing room and how it came pieced together. And I'm like, ooh, this is going to be some talking. Like, this is some deep stuff. And even every time I watch it, I find something new, or I see where they pan the camera, that little remark that they left in for you to hear in the background. And it's like those little subliminal messages that are in your head and like, hello, did y'all pay attention to that? Did y'all catch that message? I think it was a commercial message. Like, that's what P-Valley is, message. And you can't do anything when you watch P-Valley, but watch P-Valley. Otherwise, you will miss something. So that's a really big thing for people to know, because if you go to the bathroom and you come back, you might have missed what's going to happen in episode 6, and that was your clue. Okay, so don't take bathroom breaks during P-Valley, y'all. Just go ahead, get your popcorn ready, pause it if you need a break. But if you step away, you're gonna miss something.
Right, right. And sort of my final question is that you've really been able to have, like we touched upon earlier, this awesome career as a teacher, as a dancer, as a choreographer, and as an actress. What advice would you give to someone who's sort of interested in making a career change or a transition into another career path?
To go for it, no matter what, even if you are told no, because I was told no in the beginning to even get in the room to audition for this role. I was told no for 5 months. Um, so there is no no. No means go figure out another way to get in that door. So that's what I did. And you keep going. You keep going. No is figure it out.
And how did you have that mindset for yourself to sort of stay on track?
I think that it came from just life in general. Honestly, I've always been that way. Like in the seventh grade, or excuse me, ninth grade, I was the only freshman on the dance team. Like they were saying it was no freshman. There was no no. I watched my mother make calls. Well, they've just now added ninth grade to this high school. What do you mean my daughter can't audition for this team? And she fought and fought and fought. And then they brought me in finally, like, look, let's shut her up. Like let's let her have an audition. And I killed that audition and they couldn't deny it. And I became the only freshman. So at the pep rally, when the girls split up and the cheerleaders are in front of their class, I was the only cheerleader in front of the ninth grade class because they only have one ninth grade cheerleader. But there was no no for me.
Right. So you've sort of been able to have that mindset of like.
Always. I'm very driven. I'm very similar to Mercedes, and you're not going to tell me no. And if you tell me no, I'm gonna figure out how to get my yes until I realize maybe, okay, that no is truly a no, but unless God says no, it's not no for me.
Right. Amen to that. Yep. Well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for taking on such a powerful role. I mean, this is a really amazing thing to see. I'm excited for people to watch.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.